Hello everyone and welcome to Brilliance Online Edu Classes. This is Shraboni Chatterjee and today I am here with the explanation of a poetry from Class 12 English. The name of the poem is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers. Let's know a little about the poet of this poetry. The poet of this poetry is Adrienne Rich. She is very famous as through her literary work she used to raise questions regarding the social stigma, regarding the discriminations and inequalities and injustice that prevails in the society. In this poetry also, she talks about the dominance of male, about the male dominance on the women section of the society. Talking about the theme of the poem, the theme of the poem is very interesting as it talks about a lady named Aunt Jennifer who is making embroidery of powerful tigers. So the poem makes this point by presenting the wild, interesting, powerful tigers embroidered by her, and which is completely in contrast with the actual personality of Aunt Jennifer, who is actually a very suppressed and oppressed lady. She is completely suppressed by the dominance of her husband. So, the theme is basically a contrast between her character and the tigers that she is embroidering, which is in contrast and which is actually her desire. Right, so it is basically the vent of her desire. So, this is the theme of the poetry. So, the key word of this poetry would be the chauvinistic approach of male. So, what is the key term, children? The key term is chauvinistic approach of male or male chauvinism. In the first paragraph, Aunt Jennifer is describing the tigers, saying that the tigers which she is making across the screen is that wooden frame which she is using for her embroidery. So her tigers are so very lively that it appears as if they will prance across, jump across. Here the tigers are described as topaz denizens because of their bright yellow color. They are called as topaz. Denizens means the dwellers, and they are so very fearless. They don't even fear men also, right? And they move in their own confidence and majesty. So if we talk about the word meanings, there is prance, which means to walk with bounds, right? Topaz, which is a yellow precious stone. Denizens means dwellers. Sleek means elegant. Chivalric is bold, and certainty means confidence. In the next paragraph, the aunt is described as a very nervous lady who is doing the embroidery. She is so very nervous that her fingers are trembling. She is not able to pull the needle also. And the huge weight of the wedding band sits on her finger, on her hand. So here the massive weight is actually talking about the dominance of her husband, the oppression that she is suffering because of the dominance of her husband. So the words that are coming up here is fluttering, which means very nervous and confused. Ivory means something which is that is the tusk of the elephant, right? And massive means very bulky and huge. Okay, so this was the third paragraph where the aunt is being described. Then the third one is a contrast that when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. So here if you see, there are two words which are coming up. The words are terrified means afraid, and ordeals means prolonged experience, a long time experience. So the aunt is so very oppressed that it appears as if even after the death she would be afraid of her husband because of the long experience of dominance that she has experienced, wherein the tigers that she is making will be always proud and unafraid and jumping across. So this again shows a contrast between Aunt Jennifer and the tigers that she is making. Okay, so what is the summary, children? The summary is the poet expresses the inner feelings of a woman, Aunt Jennifer. The aunt is embroidering a motif, that is a caricature, right? Comprising of energetic, fearless tigers moving freely around the bright greenery. She is living a life of submissiveness to her husband's command. Her acts are dominated by him, and she fears him constantly. This pattern of free and fearless tigers reflects her inner desire to live a free and fearless life. The tigers are graceful, elegant, and bright. So it is just a complete gist of the three paragraphs that we discussed just now. Okay, now if we talk about the poetic devices, there is imagery, because as you read it you get the image of a fearful lady, Aunt Jennifer, and the magnificent tigers. Then there is hyperbole, that is exaggerating the things, especially the weight of the wedding ring has been exaggerated here. Then there is contrast, which we have discussed, the nervous lady with the confident tiger, the yellow colored tiger with the green forest, right? Metaphor, a comparison of tigers because of the yellow color to the precious yellow stone named topaz. And then assonance, that is the repetition of vowel sound, like find the ivory. So I is a vowel and the sound is repeated. Find the ivory, right? So these are the basic poetic devices which are being used. Right, children? So it's a beautiful poem. It's a short poem, but a huge message is given. A very evil aspect of the society is given, that how there is discrimination amidst the genders also. So now, when you will read the passages, the stanzas once again, you will be able to easily understand the content. Thank you, children. Stay safe and study well.